Wing Chaplain of the United States Air Force Auxiliary Civil Air Patrol at Washington Wing Headquarters, McChord Field, Joint Base Lewis-McChord. Please join with me in 1 minute of silence to remember the fallen, the prisoners of war, the missing in action, and honor those who have served and are still serving this great nation's armed forces. A very familiar tune is taps, which is usually a bugle call played at dusk during flag ceremonies, but predominantly played at military and law enforcement funerals to give the fallen hero and the hero's family our honor and respect. So now the Tumwater High School Choir, directed by Rachel Landowski, will sing Elegy by Daniel Elder, which the lyrics are derived by this military song of honor. Let us bow our heads in prayer. On this day, as we conduct this Wreaths Across America ceremony here at the Washington State Capitol, we thank you, O God, our Father, for all who by brave commitment have given their lives for their country. We realize that none of us cherish the thought of having to pay the supreme price of death for our country, which military men and women have had to pay. Nevertheless, we still find men and women like these who, each knowing the price they might have to pay, have been willing to put on the uniform for their country and to go into battle. We are thankful for men and women of bravery who have been willing to give their lives for this peace of the world and the freedom we enjoy here this afternoon. We are so thankful also for the men and women who were able to join with us today, giving us honor to those who faithfully served. We are grateful for their dedication, service to their God, their country, and their fellow man. May your spirit of guidance go with them, that they may continue to be a channel of service to others. Impress upon us all as we later depart from this place the importance of the sacrificial giving of ourselves in service to our God, our country, and our fellow man. In your most holy name we pray. Amen. We are gathered here today at the state capitol, and for the past week, at state capitals across this great America, to remember that we are one nation with one flag. Since last Monday and through this Friday, Wreaths Across America capital ceremonies have been and are being conducted across this great nation at every state capital, including our nation's capital. All of these capital ceremonies have, are, and will be held in order to show that our country stands behind and for our nation's military and the price that was paid and continues to be paid for our country in order for all of us to remain free. These capital ceremonies are all held before the Wreaths Across America Day, which is usually held on the second Saturday of December at over 2,000 cemeteries across this great nation and abroad. This December 14th, these ceremonies will be conducted to lay wreaths at the headstones of our fallen heroes. But today, these capital ceremonies are not about laying wreaths at our heroes' headstones or decorating graves or remembering special sacrifices. These capital ceremonies are specifically about remembering all of the lives that have been paid in order for all of us to enjoy the freedom that we have at this time. With this in mind, we are privileged to hear from our three guest speakers today, who each have a few short words to share with us from their heart. Washington State Senator and Lieutenant Colonel in the United States Air Force Auxiliary Civil Air Patrol and Commander of the Legislative Squadron in Washington Wing, Senator Jim Honeyford. Also Gold Star Mother Valerie Marks, Mother of Sergeant Scott Vanning, United States Army. Now, for those of you who do not know what a Gold Star Mother is, they are mothers who have lost a son or a daughter who was serving their country heroically and who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we cherish. And finally, I will be asking Lieutenant Colonel Gary Condra, United States Army retired, who now serves as Deputy Director of the Washington State Department of Veteran Affairs. Senator Jim Honeyford.
Thank you for inviting me to speak here today. We know that all servicemen and women and their families give something due to their service for our country and our freedoms. 3 days ago, we observed Pearl Harbor Day, and today we honor all veterans, those who gave some and those who gave all. It's my hope that these remembrances will honor those who have served and educate our youth about the sacrifices that our servicemen and women make to protect and preserve our freedoms. May God bless our troops. May God bless the USA.
Gold Star Mother Valerie Marks.
Good afternoon. I've spoken here many times, so most of you have seen me or heard me. So I'm going to be really brief today about my son, Sergeant Scott Vanning. He enlisted 5 days after his 17th birthday in 2002. It took him that long to sign because I made him talk to every branch before he finally signed with the Army. He knew he wanted to go Army because he wanted to jump out of airplanes. That kid. When he was 5, he decided that if he could get high enough, he could fly. And he jumped off of everything. It was horrible. He jumped off the roof of our garage one day because he knew if he was high enough, he could fly. Well, he finally got that wish when he joined and went with an airborne unit. Scott had his U.S. Army jump wings, his Korean jump wings. He even jumped out of a hot air balloon. So yeah, the kid would jump out of anything. Except what they don't tell you when they join and they go airborne is if the plane is going down, you write it down. You don't get to jump out of that. So that was just kind of a shock to us when he was in a plane and they had some engine trouble and he's like, we can just jump. And they're like, no, you get to write it down. Scott was an amazing man. He was a wonderful husband, a great father. He was a son, a brother, a nephew. It's been 10 years in June, and we still greatly miss him. Today, I have a couple other Gold Star moms joining me. Danetta Robinson, whose son is Sergeant James Brown. He was born in April of 1986. He was like my son. He knew when he was little, he was joining the Army. That's what he wanted to do. He had originally wanted to be a Navy SEAL, but when he took lifeguard training in the ocean, he realized, yeah, he didn't want to do that every day. So he decided he was going to be a ranger. And he worked really hard toward that goal until he met his wife, and their daughter was born. And he decided that it wasn't worth it. He wanted to be more of a husband and a father, so he stayed. Regular Army, he gave up his dream to be part of that family. Sadly, on June 15th of 2012, his family was notified of his passing. 7.5 years later, they still love and miss him. He is still a part of them. Also joining me today is Jody Flanagan, mother of Private First Class Charles Hester. Unlike Jay and Scott, Charlie never planned to join. It wasn't what he wanted to do until he got married and had a child. And then he decided that that's what he was going to do. Charlie loved music and taught himself to play the guitar and the piano and then while serving in Iraq, he would play for his guys. They loved it. In the Striker, he was always quizzing them about music and songs and lyrics and all of that. Jody was telling me that Charlie never got his driver's license, but the Army didn't care. They let him drive that Striker, and he was amazing at it. He always got them where they were going. He was amazing at reading the routes, and they always got there safe. Charlie was Jody's gentle giant. He was 6'3", and he had the best laugh and smile. Everybody misses that about him. His daughter Lizzie reminds her so much of her Charlie that it's just a huge comfort to her. On May 26th, they were notified passing. 13 years later, he's still loved and horribly missed by his large family. Gold Star moms are really passionate about Wreaths Across America because they teach. Their motto is honor, remember, teach. As a mom, I'm an angel. We don't forget our children. So people say, oh, I don't want to say anything about them because I don't want you to cry. There's about a minute every morning that life is okay. That we can wake up and think, oh, today's going to be great, And then it's like, oh, we miss our son every day. So feel free to mention them. Ask us about them because they're still a part of us. They may be gone, but they're still a part of us. We need to teach our future generations that freedom is not free. It's not. Us three have paid the ultimate sacrifice for that through our children. I'm going to leave you with this one thought. Today is not the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing is to be forgotten. Thank you.
Lieutenant Colonel Gary Conrad.
Well, thank you. I would like to recognize Senator Honeyford and Penny and the Civil Air Patrol and the members who come every year to provide this ceremony, because this is a time of great division across our country. But one of the things that we can all get behind is the fact that many of our countrymen or fellow citizens have volunteered to join the military to preserve our freedoms. And without their sacrifice, none of us would be able to enjoy the privilege of being here with you today. And I think it's extremely important that we come and remember them, honor them, and learn about the sacrifices. When you think back, it was the experience of a 12-year-old young man from Maine who got this project started. He was a paper boy, and he got the opportunity to visit Washington, D.C., and he got the opportunity to tour Arlington National Cemetery and see for himself the number of people over the years in this country who have given their all. And he remembered that as he progressed through his life. And at one point in time, he was running a business in Maine to create wreaths, and he thought about it. They got into a season when they had excess, and they didn't know what to do with it. And he remembered back to when he visited Arlington National Cemetery and thought it would be great to be able to honor veterans in that location. So he reached out to his senator from Maine, and he got permission to actually do that. And that started in 1992. And that continued to be kind of a back of the script thing that took place kind of privately up until 2005, when a picture of the wreaths on the gravesites kind of went viral on the internet. And people started to say, we can do this too. He reached out and founded a nonprofit organization that we talked about, Wreaths Across America. And that has become a major event across the country, over 2,000 cemeteries, not just here in the United States, but on foreign soil, where we have had U.S. veterans who have died and they're interred in those countries. So these ceremonies take place to remember and honor. But the big thing we have to do is continue to teach, as was mentioned before, to remember the veterans and their sacrifices, and to understand that this country is founded on their sacrifices. So it's been my honor and privilege to serve in the military and to also then have the great opportunity to serve veterans for almost as long. So I thank you all for being here. invite you this Saturday. If any of you are looking for an event to attend, there will be Wreaths Across America wreath lighting ceremonies all across the state. And I'd just like to point out, Tahoma National Cemetery, Washington State Veterans Cemetery in Medical Lake, our cemeteries in Ording, at our Soldiers Home, and our Veterans Home in Port Orchard will all be having ceremonies. So if you have the opportunity, please attend those ceremonies. So thank you, and I'm proud to be here today. Thank you.
I would now like to invite our Gold Star mothers, Senator Jim Honeyford and Lieutenant Colonel Gary Condra, to stand over at our wreath as we dedicate our wreath, while the Tumwater High School Choir now sings Mansions of the Lord. This wreath before you represents our commitment as a united America to remember the fallen. I also want this wreath to symbolize our honor to those who served and are serving in the armed forces of our great nation, and to their families who endure sacrifices every day on our behalf. To our children, I would want them to understand that the freedoms they enjoy today have not been free, but have been coming and come with a cost that someday they may too have to pay themselves. As a nation standing together, we can defeat terrorism, hatred, and injustice. But thanks to our veterans, we have the freedom to do just that. As a veteran, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to all of our veterans in active duty that are here today. Thank you for your service. And on this day, we show a united front of national unity all across the United States of America as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. With that thought, the Tumwater High School will sing their final song, Carol of the Bells. In closing, it is with great honor and from a very proud and thankful nation that we are here today remembering those that have given their lives in defense of freedom. We also honor those that serve in our nation's military, along with their families and loved ones who do sacrifice because of their service. For our military protects our freedom here at home and around the globe. Thank you. Finally, this morning, I wish to thank each of you for being here to honor those who have served. I would especially like to acknowledge our Gold Star spouses, children, and siblings, for we are eternally grateful for your loved one's ultimate sacrifice for us. Also, I would like to specifically acknowledge the following: Senator and Lieutenant Colonel Jim Honeyford, Gold Star Mother Valerie Marks for speaking today, Deputy Director and Lieutenant Colonel Gary Condra, Penny McWayne for being instrumental in organizing the ceremony, the Tumwater High School and their director, Rachel Landowski. And I'd like to go ahead and clap for them right now. Thank you. Your performance was awesome. And then finally, those fine-looking cadets that are here today, cadets and senior members of the United States Air Force Auxiliary Civil Air Patrol, thank you for being here today. Look sharp. And please remember that Wreaths Across America Day is this coming Saturday, December 14th. The big ceremony will be held at Tahoma National Cemetery in Kent, Washington, and it starts at 9 a.m. But there are many other ceremonies that Lieutenant Colonel Condra mentioned that will occur all around our state. Thank you, everyone, for being part of our Wreaths Across America ceremony here at our Washington State Capitol. May blessings rest upon you as you travel today and this week. You are dismissed.